Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, everybody. Welcome back to your pre-market watch list. We got a handful of stocks to cover, so I'm going to try to go through them as quickly as I can while giving you guys as much detail as I can. So we're just going to start rocking and rolling. We'll start with one of the good stocks today that jumped up, which was CHMA. Anyways, this stock jumped up. I ended up shorting up here, covering down here. It's been trading okay so far. It's a stock that got some news on a merger. Yeah, it's got some merger news here. So another company is going to acquire it, going to merge with it, so on and so forth. So this might give us a good trading day. I usually don't follow mergers, acquisitions, and buyouts too often. So again, they always trade a little funky to me, but either way, we'll keep an eye on it to see if it gives us any sort of good movement. But a lot of times stocks that go, for sure stocks that go through a buyout never end up moving. Stocks that do some mergers end up moving a little bit. So we'll see if this ends up trading okay. The news is pretty decent on it. I've already been on the short side. The reason I went on the short side, as you can see with this move, it jumped all the way up to this red trend line. So basically when I was shorting, it was here, off this red trend line. And then we pulled it back down to this trend line. So again, I'll put two lines ready. So today's morning trade was a short up here and a cover down here. So shorting from red line to yellow line. And then you'll see what happened at the price action of the stock. It went up. Here's the red line, which is really that red trend line. And then it sold down to this red trend line, which is really just this yellow trend line. And then it bounced. And then the bounce went where? The bounce went almost back up to, or it did, let's see. And then the bounce went halfway of that. So again, if you think about it, you can think of this move from this red trend line to this yellow one. This move is what we call one deviation. So you could just think of that as 100, right? So we went from the red line being 100 down to 0, back up to 50. So you guys hear things about 50% retracements and so on and so forth. So this 412 price was the halfway mark between yellow and red line. Our trade was from red line to yellow. This bounce was from yellow back to the midway point, which is the half deviation. And that's where the market's sustaining itself. So going into the open, this halfway point is probably the breakout. And then this is a breakout that would then take you up to your next resistance of 444. And then for a bigger breakout, you'd need to go through the pre-market high. Now the support is down here at 380, as mentioned by that yellow trend line. So if the price ends up rolling down, going below 380, that's where you'll see some weakness. So there's a good chance you see the markets kind of battle in between this 414 to 380, trying to push it up and then swing it down. So either way, we'll be following this closely throughout the day. Let's give you some more detail, which would be in the event this does end up going long, I wouldn't be buying it over the prices of 510 to 6 something, or is, yeah, 6. 510 to 6 wouldn't be, 596. Yeah, it doesn't matter. 5 to 6, I wouldn't be buying it over. So again, buying over 5 would be here up to here. Once you cross, and look where this mark is. Remember I said I wouldn't buy over 5? 5 right now is the intraday 3-dev. So the intraday overbought price also lines up with long-term resistance. So again, this up here is a high-risk buy zone right now, right? Your basically breakout levels are down here with potential targets all the way up here, and this would be overbought, and this is where short sellers would look to come in and start selling it down again, which is also what I would end up doing too. All right. So the stock VERU is currently jumping up right now. It's up to about 1165, which is a very good jump. And if it gets closer to 1204, we should see a rejection here. So I might even do a little trade here on VERU up in the 12 prices for a short move. And I'll try to explain this in real time and see if it works. So if you look at the daily chart. So if we go to the daily chart on VERU, it's having a big run up. And you'll see the daily chart has a little gap fill that starts there. And it also has the long-term regression or 0 or mean level. So again, would look to be bearish on VERU at the 12 price. Right now, we're all the way up to 1165, which is also, that is nothing. There is nothing there. So really just hoping, I'm really hoping this just goes all the way up to 12 to 1231, and then we can bet bearish there for a correction move on the downside. So that's kind of a quick trade that you guys probably won't end up being able to capitalize on by the time you see this video, but you can go back, well, you can watch the video and then go back and look at the stock and then see how it performed, right? So that I'm giving you analysis that isn't hindsight 2020, and you can come back and see just how correct it actually is. So I will be looking for a bearish move at 12 to 1225. So right now the long target up is up to about 1214, or yeah, 1225 area. And that's where I would look to be more bearish on. So we'll see if that ends up happening, and then you can come back and check the video and see how it ended up doing. All right, so let me put that on another screen before it makes a move and I forget about it. All right, so next thing we're going to talk about is going to be GameStop really quickly. So GameStop still bearish on. As you can see, it broke down the other day. We swung a little lower. We're holding the 50 moving average. This is exactly what we had mentioned in the YouTube video the other day, which may have been yesterday. We were bearish GameStop on the day. We'd probably see it go down towards a 50 moving average and even try to hold the 50 moving average. We held it once, twice, bull flag, and then you can see it broke up to the upside. So our target was met for yesterday on the downside. We're still bearish on the stock, looking for it to come down still to like 140 prices, 141s we really want to see. So overall, we're going to remain bearish on GameStop. We do think that this price action trend you see here, let me put a trend line here, this one that I'm drawing, believe that that trend will break and you will see this end up rolling lower. So we'll see. The apes are strong. The battle is still on, and we'll see who ends up winning. All right, next thing that we'll talk about here will be what was DPW. Just want to see if it's still up. Okay, DPW kind of crashed down. But something to take note of is that it has come all the way down to this one deviation mark. So either way, it's pretty much gone from overbought to really oversold. So this is the time period where we could start seeing DPW try to come back around into more of a long move. Okay, so we might kind of be on more of like swing longs with DPW at this point. All right. All right, next thing we'll talk about is NIO. Give you a quick update. I was really only seeing prices up to maybe 38.80s today to 38.90s on NIO. We'll see. NIO still following sympathy to Tesla, so you need Tesla to have a good day, and you need the market to have a good day for NIO to continue having a good day. So for now, really just on standstill with NIO for the moment, okay? And there was one other penny stock, ATNX. ATNX was up today too. Yeah, ATNX, this might end up actually having a long. It seems kind of odd because it's down. We'll see. And if it does, it should bounce around 467. So we're kind of looking for ATNX to retrace all the way down to this 467 price and then maybe turn it like sort of like a U-shaped long, right? And the best way I can explain is if you look at the screen on the right, it just shows a nice long move on the stock ATNX up, and then it's pulling back, and you can see where the trend is at. Trend support comes in at about 468. So this is a good price where the market will try to kind of bounce it or maybe support it today. But if it can't hold this 467s, 470s, then we'll just let it go, and it can do pretty much whatever it wants to do. All right. There's one more, BLRX. This is from yesterday. Now, I will say that BLRX is kind of confusing even to me because yesterday it jumped up and just kind of whipsawed all day. We're still in the overbought level. I kind of think you're going to see a bearish day on our BLRX, okay? So overall, I'm bearish BLRX. The way I see it is once you successfully get below the prices of, basically 5, I think it's going to swing down towards 466 on the day. So somewhere down here towards this green mark is where I'd anticipate that we'll see BLRX go once we get through the $5 mark. All right. Other than that, that's really the watch list. Again, we'll watch VERU. We're going to keep a close eye on this CHMA stock. And then, VERU for right now. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you learned something new. Hope you liked the video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, and I will see you guys on the next watch list.